What's up, my Gen X and millennial sports fans? Welcome to Nice TV, where sports and the business behind it meets. So, Shedeur Sanders was set up to fail. That's what many people believe. Well, let's take a look at things and let's start by looking at the box score. All right. Shedeur Sanders' debut last night could be seen as ugly if you're looking at the scores, right? We're looking at completions. We're going to talk about 16 attempts and only 4 were complete. No touchdowns and 1 interception. If you look at the numbers, it's easy to conclude he was outmatched and overwhelmed. But those numbers don't tell the full story. So go ahead, listen in. We're going to get to it. You're going to love this discussion here. In fact, the numbers don't tell the real story. What if the real failure on Sunday wasn't the rookie quarterback, Shedeur Sanders, but the 5 men in front of him who were paid a lot of money to protect him? What if the stats were a symptom of a much larger problem going on in Cleveland? Today, we're going to look at the film to uncover the truth about what really happened with Shedeur Sanders as he took on the Cleveland Browns and made his first debut. You know I'm going to give it to you straight, no chaser, nice and smooth. Let's get into it, fam. All right, appreciate you guys tuning in to your cousin Nice Simmons. I appreciate you guys watching the channel. You know I'm going to give you to you straight. I'm going to give you a perspective that's going to be a little bit different than what you may see on Club Shay Shay, what you may see on ESPN. It's going to be a little bit different, but I believe that you're going to love my content. So make sure that you subscribe and like. It does help the channel and helps the algorithm show you more videos just like this. So the brutal start, it happened, all right? The narrative about Shedeur Sanders thrown into the fire after Dylan Gabriel's injury is true. Simply, they say he couldn't handle the pressure, but that's not what the film shows, right? At his very first drive, coming in cold, his first career pass was a quick 5-yard completion to Tillman. He looked poised from the beginning, so this was a good thing. But that's really where the good news kind of ended. A holding penalty came in right after that, and just a few plays later, the theme of the night emerged. The pocket collapsed. Safety Hamilton broke through and sacked Shedeur, right? Sanders lost the fumble, and it was a brutal preview of what was to come, showing that no matter what Shedeur Sanders did, the foundation around him was already crumbling. He was doomed from the beginning. All right, so you may say, hey, well, what about the interception he threw, right? Classic rookie mistake? Maybe. The box says Sanders threw to Wiggins, right, into the story, but it's really not that simple if you're looking at the film. The reality of the play shows that before the snap, the Ravens showed a 6-man blitz directly challenging Brown's protection. At the snap, the defensive stunt confused the offensive line. The linebacker Noy came through to hammer Shedeur just as he released the ball. The pass was off target. Was it a perfect throw? No. But to label it as a rookie mistake is completely ignores the systematic, groundbreaking issues that have been taking place at the Cleveland Browns. The offensive line job is to give their quarterback a chance, a fighting chance. They couldn't even do that. All right. On this play, the failure was tremendous. It was obvious. There needs to be a new line in Cleveland. If you're enjoying breakdowns like this and you want more content that cuts through the noise, make sure you guys subscribe and like the channel. Now, the Cleveland Browns pocket, it's made of paper, right? Brown bag, lunch paper, wet. They can't hold the defense. They can't hold anyone. It would be one thing if the offensive line only struggled against the blitz, but that's really not the case in Cleveland. right? The tape is littered with the standard four-man rush where the Browns' offensive linemen were clearly beat on one-on-one matchups time and time again. It's really unacceptable. The pocket wasn't just collapsing. In one sense, it was evaporating, man. We saw plays where Shedeur Sanders had to immediately escape. And hey, he surprised me. The kid looked pretty good on his feet, running for his life to avoid sacks. So when analysts say Shedeur's held the ball too long, that's not true. They're missing the bigger picture. He was often holding it because his internal clock was already screaming, danger, get out the pocket, it's collapsing. There was no firm pocket for him to step into, no space to reset his feet. There was only chaos, even on his best throws. A 25 completion to Fanning Jr., right? My fellow Bowling Green State University wide receiver who landed there. He's doing excellent this season, right? Even on that, Sanders had pressure all over him. It was a flash of his arm. I mean, look, Shedeur is talented. All right. He absolutely is. And he deserves a fair chance. I mean, was last night a fair chance? You guys let me know. Comment. I'm going to comment back. I want to talk to you guys. But look, in closing, as we look at Shedeur Sanders' debut, you have two choices here. You can look at his 4 and 6 stats and write them off. Or you can look at the film and see a rookie quarterback who is in an impossible situation. We saw failure to handle a blitz, a collapse on basic pass protection in plays where Sanders had zero chance even from the snap. Even his own teammates after the game refused to pin this on Shedeur Sanders. They followed behind him. And to say Shedeur Sanders failed is to ignore the reality of what truly unfolded. The truth is, he wasn't just playing against the Ravens. He was battling for his own protection. He was set up to fail right from the beginning. What do you guys think? Am I right or wrong? Am I making an excuse for Shedeur Sanders? I want to hear from you. All right. More breakdowns that cut through the noise. You know I'm going to give it to you right here on this channel. Keep following, keep watching. Watch one of these videos right here. I'm sure you're going to love it. And until the next time, family, peace.